They're traders, some artisans and even innovators. But their daily struggle, resilience and growth continues to drive local enterprises, leading Nigeria's economic recovery. No doubt, micro, small and medium enterprises are the backbone of many economies. MSMEs are crucial for the country's economic stability. And reports say with over 39 million MSMEs contributing 84% of the nation's total employment, well, the present administration recognizes this and has taken bold steps through various reforms and strengthened private sector partnerships, with economic indicators revealing that these reforms are beginning to yield positive microeconomic results, with growth projection from 4.2% in 2025 to 4.4% in 2027. Indeed, hope has been rekindled for millions of small business owners and stabilizing the economy, which has translated to job creation across the country. The goal is to position the country as a dynamic hub for entrepreneurship and a prime destination for investment opportunities through friendly policy, of course, that drives growth. But how are these enterprises navigating the challenges, embracing innovations and driving growth across the country? Also, how can the feat recorded be sustained? Well, tonight, the spotlight is on empowering enterprise, the new hope for Nigeria's MSMEs, and our guest is Mr. Temitola Adekunle Johnson, the Special Advisor to the President on Job Creation and MSMEs. Thank you for joining us. This is Weekend File. I'm Ruth Aguwele. Before exploring the issues around the business for tonight, let's begin with the news. President Bola Tinubu says his government is focused on ensuring accountability and transparency, which he described as a surest path to good governance and growth. The president said this when he received a delegation of the International Federation of Accounts and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria at the State House. The delegation also included governors of Jigawa State, Umar Namadi, and Kogi State, Ahmad Ododo. ICANN has just held its 55th Annual Accountants Conference with the theme, Building Resilience, Aligning Reforms for Nigeria's Development. President Tinubu acknowledged the contributions of members of the bodies working with the government to record improvement in non-oil revenue and the actualization of the tax reforms.
I'm grateful for the contribution of your dedicated professionals. The tax reform is with excellent commitment and diligence and set Nigeria on the path of resilience that we look for. Then the revenue generation, other than dependence on oil, is getting improvement, regularly, and we are looking at that. Is the question, and transparency will be an answer to many of our problems. And without that foundation, there's no path to growth. There's no path to good governance.
I would like also to commend your leadership, because I had the privilege to be in a meeting recently with Chairman Yolide, and this reform, the fiscal reform and tax, the fiscal policy and tax reform is really impressive. It is impressive both by the magnitude and also by the way that it is implemented.
We can see the visible impact of it, positive impact. The inflation is coming down, food price is coming down, the queue has disappeared from filling stations, Naira has stabilized and is even appreciating, and so many things like that. These are part of the reforms that Mr. President has introduced. And over and above that, the new tax reform, which take effect from 1st January, is also going to be of great impact for the citizens.
President Bola Tinubu on Thursday granted clemency to 175 Nigerians and non-Nigerians, including notable figures like Major General Mamman Vatsa, Major Akubo, Professor Magaji Garba, Mariam Sanda, Ken Sarawiwa, and the other Ogoni 8. A statement by Bayo Adenuga, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, says the decision of the President was based on recommendations from the Presidential Advisory Committee on the Prerogative of Mercy, chaired by Attorney General and Justice Minister Lateef Fagbemi. The committee's report, presented at a Council of State meeting chaired by President Tinubu, cited remorse, good conduct, old age, acquisition of vocational skills, or enrollment in the National Open University of Nigeria as reasons for clemency. The President also addressed a historical injustice by pardoning Sir Herbert Macaulay, a prominent Nigerian nationalist, for wrong committed on the British colonial rule. The committee recommended pardons for 2 inmates and 15 former convicts, 11 of whom are deceased. Clemency was granted to 82 inmates, while 65 had their sentences commuted. 7 death row inmates had their sentences reduced to life imprisonment. Let's delve to other issues. When the National Library of Nigeria is built and finally completed, it will become the country's national pride as a modern digitized facility equipped to cater to the knowledge-building needs of all. Now, to achieve this objective, Nigeria is looking to draw inspiration and worthy template from the iconic Qatar National Library in Doha. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, dropped this hint after a facility tour of the library on the margins of a visit to Doha. Let's get the details from State House correspondent Nta Network.
From its shape and structure, you get a picture and an ambience of a community configured for one central purpose: knowledge building to drive growth and sustainable development. And with its 2 million books and 500,000 e-books, Qatar National Library, situated in Education City, Doha, is one of the nation's pride and an enduring monument to the thirst of Qataris for knowledge. A visit to the library is the first engagement by Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu upon her arrival in Doha.
This is the library, the Qatar National Library.
A team from the library, led by the Director of Operations, Khalid Badar Al-Yafei, conducted her and members of a delegation around the facility. She took it all in, admiring the innovation station, sensory room, children library, assistive technology center, and heritage library, fascinated by row after row of books, parchment, and digital accounts of different civilizations.
We've seen a lot. I can't even, is it the heritage part? Is it people with disability? It's just for everyone, from 0 to maybe 100. Depends on who wants to come. So there's room for everyone. So I would say I'm impressed with that, because knowledge shouldn't be isolated. It should be given to a child immediately you're born, and I think this place has provided that.
The facility mirrors a desire for a modern and functional national library back home in Nigeria.
We wouldn't have come to a better place than here. So I'm really glad we did. And, you know, we might not have this exactly, but at least, you know, we have something to measure up and then, you know, at least live up to and then build towards. And I think I can't get over it.
I think it's a concept that we are going to actually make sure that we have something like that, and also the emphasis on the special needs and also the emphasis on the heritage. I think it gives us clarity in terms of how do we make sure that the library is really modern. Apart from that, also there are key areas that we need to actually include in terms of the plans for the existing library that we have.
Her visit to the library is on the margins of a scheduled engagement with the Qatar Foundation for Education Science and Community Development, where she hopes to secure needed partnership that will address the challenges of out-of-school children in Nigeria. From Doha in Qatar, Nta News.
And back home, the Nigeria Police Force says it has made significant progress in uncovering the circumstances surrounding the gruesome armed robbery that claimed the lives of Miss Sotomchukwu Maduagu, a journalist with Arise News, and Mr. Barnabas Danlami, a security guard at Unique Apartments, Katampe Extension, Mabushi, Abuja. Briefing journalists in Abuja, the force provided updates of the tragic incident which occurred in the early hours of September 29, 2025. Police authorities confirmed that 12 suspects linked to the robbery have been arrested following a coordinated intelligence-driven operations by operatives of the FCT Police Command. According to the police, one of the arrested suspects confessed to firing the fatal shot that killed the security guard, Mr. Danlami, when he attempted to prevent the gang from gaining entry into the apartment complex.
Have 12 suspects in custody, suspects that have been confirmed to be linked to that robbery incident.
That Shamsuddin Hassan was the particular suspect that fired the shots that killed Mr. Barnabas Danlami. Our investigation has also shown that they are behind some robberies that have taken place in places like Apo, Zuba, and some other parts of FCT.
Meanwhile, the force reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring that all individuals connected to these heinous crimes are brought to justice in accordance with the law. It also urged members of the public to remain vigilant and to continue providing credible information that can aid in the prevention and detection of crime. A look at all the issues. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate, has announced a major increase in the enrollment quota for nursing and midwifery training institutions from 28,000 in 2023 to 115,000 for 2025 academic year. The expansion, he said, is part of government's renewed effort to strengthen the health workforce and meet Nigeria's growing healthcare needs. Professor Pate made this known at the Nursing Summit and national rollout of the Nigeria Strategic Directions for Nursing and Midwifery 2025 to 2030, held in Abuja with the theme, Strengthening Nursing and Midwifery Services in Nigeria for Universal Health Coverage through the implementation of the Nigeria Strategic Direction.
We've made deliberate investments on the health workforce, particularly in nursing and midwifery and other frontline workers. Recognizing the significant supply-demand gap in our health labor market, the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare in the past year and a half championed strategic expansion of nursing and midwifery education to deliver services, and that is already happening.
Professor Pate further disclosed that under the ongoing sector-wide approach, more than 69,000 frontline health workers have been retrained across 36 states and the FCT in the last 20 months, with nurses and midwives being major beneficiaries. He added that President Bola Tinubu has also approved waivers for the recruitment of over 30,000 additional health workers in the federal health facilities, with 60% of these positions allocated to the nursing and midwifery profession. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Abike Dabiri-Arewa, the chairman CEO of the Nigerians and Diaspora Commission, on her birthday. The president rejoices with a devoted public servant who started her career as a broadcaster with the Nigerian Television Authority and was elected member of the House of Representatives in 2003, 2007 and 2011. Mrs. Dabiri-Arewa was chairman of the House Committee on Media and Publicity and chaired the House Committee on Diaspora Affairs. President Tinubu affirms that the chairperson of NIDCAM has demonstrated love for the country and humanity over many years of consistently placing the welfare and well-being of underprivileged at the center of her work. President Tinubu acknowledges the patriotic roles of Dabiri Arewa in attracting diaspora talents to contribute to the country's development, particularly in education, health and sports, affirming that her awards and recognition over the years were well-deserved. So we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll begin a conversation on empowering enterprises, the new hope for MSMEs. Do stay tuned.
The beating heart of Owerri. Business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality, transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and in Imo, it's not left to chance. From land to sky to river deep, guardians are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Orashi's quiet shore, hydropower is rising, set to energize the economy. The change is visible. New roads emerge, industry hums, communities come alive. At the center, a digital revolution. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build the future. As Orashi rises, so does Imo and the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
In the hearts of our nation, courage stands tall. The Nigerian army is here, protecting us all. Through trials and challenges, our spirit won't sway. Together we rise, come what may. Listen closely, Nigerians, to the truth we uphold. Fabricated stories won't tarnish our gold. Dismissed and disgruntled, they spread lies and despair. But your Nigerian army is dedicated and fair. Every soldier, every officer stands for the right. With honor and integrity, we defend day and night. Your safety, our mission, our oath, we will fulfill. For Nigeria, we are steadfast, always ready, strong-willed. Don't let the noise mislead you. Stay informed today. Trust your Nigerian army. We're here to stay. In unity we stand. Together we will thrive. For a prosperous Nigeria, we will always strive. Stand strong, stand proud. We believe in the army that safeguards our freedom to achieve. Together united, with strength as our guide, we will chase away shadows and falsehoods they hide. Nigerian Army, protecting lives, building trust.
Ofala, the age-long heritage of the people of Onitsha. A day when tradition comes alive, with Glow showcasing this royal heritage to the world on October 17th and 18th. It begins with the emergence of the Abogidi in his majestic splendor. Every step is a declaration of renewed harmony as the drums thunder, flutes vibrate, and prayers of peace are offered by the Obi. This year's festival begins with a youth carnival and an evening with Glow, featuring performances from the finest Southeast music maestros, the Ofala Festival, and the Royal Banquet. This is more than a festival. It is a reaffirmation of identity. Glow celebrates with all sons and daughters of Onitsha and the entire Igbo land as we take Ofala Onitsha to the world stage.
My mama no lie, oh. Food waste with na money kill and plus everything combined, oh. Everything combined, oh. Ogbonge just the arrive, oh. She tell me say na Devon King, so yeah, all she dey use fry, oh. Yeah. Now why the jello fit dey sweet like this? The chicken in dey crisp like this. Fry the plantain.
Introducing the new Devon King's soya vegetable oil, available in stores near you.
No buy am. But why? No see say this big bull bag of rice no get the new big bull holographic seal. Not true.
Introducing the Big Bull Holographic Seal Tape, your favorite authentic Big Bull rice, 50 kg and 25 kg. Now with holographic seal tape. This is to ensure you get the premium product from Big Bull rice. Do not buy if the holographic seal tape is not on the bag or is broken. Big Bull rice. Tasty rice nourished you.
Nivea Black and White Deodorant, now with 72-hour protection. But what does that mean? 3 cities in 3 days and no fear of sweat and odor. 120 dances with skin as smooth as the moon. Sweat, stain and odor protection. Nivea Black and White Deodorant. Skin is for embracing life. Nivea is for skin.
My people, toilets have stains which bleach cannot clean effectively. But Harpic is thicker and sticks better, which gives 10x better cleaning versus bleach and kills germs. Oh, wow. You cannot see that Harpic is better than bleach.
Thank you for staying with us. President Bola Tinubu's administration has taken bold steps to stabilize Nigeria's economy through various economic reforms or policies. Economic indicators reveal that these reforms are beginning to yield positive microeconomic results. We're seeing growth projection 4.2% in 2025 to 4.4% in 2027. Grace Wilson Eze will tell us more.
Assumption of office in May 2023, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu introduced several economic policies as part of his resolve to reform Nigeria's economy for sustainable growth. Notable among these policies is removal of fuel subsidy and unification of the exchange rate, aimed at liberalizing the economy, reducing government interference, and encouraging private sector growth. 2 years down the line, analysts say that these policies, though stringent, are beginning to yield positive results.
Bishop's target of the government to move the state from 4.4 billion to 30 billion is almost like a program centered on SMEs. Because if you provide infrastructure, you have the ease of doing business.
For these traders and artisans, the ongoing economic reforms have liberalized the economy for healthy competition. However, they cry the high exchange and inflation rates, as well as poor access to funding.
As a clergy, my prayer has always been that God will use from the president to the governors, legislators, and even the local government to look the way of the people, whether they are the small business owners or even medium ones or even farmers, so that life will pick up again and believe in a much easier way in Nigeria again.
The current federal government's economic reforms may not be convenient for the citizenry at the moment, but it is an urgent necessity for a robust and competitive economy. In Enugu, Grace Wilson Eze, NTA News.
Now, micro, small and medium enterprises are said to be responsible for nearly 50% of the nation's wealth and employs more than 84% of workforce. Yet, for this army of entrepreneurs, every dawn is a fresh battle against a relentless foe, the capital crunch, suffocating bureaucracy and the crippling cost of running a generator. Muplank Dakok takes a look at efforts towards ensuring MSMEs thrive enough to keep the Nigerian economy afloat.
Africa has an estimated 44 million micro, small and medium enterprises, but their contribution to GDP still lags at about 40%. Managing Director of the Development Bank of Nigeria, Tony Opanachi, says the bank disbursed 1.1 trillion naira, supporting about 700,000 businesses by the end of 2024. But its mission goes beyond funding to also investing in capacity building with the aim of boosting MSME's contribution to Nigeria's GDP.
Yes, there's still more that can be done. The point is, DBM funding is like a catalyst. So while we're providing these wholesale funds to them, we also expect the financial institutions to also lend their own funds. So when we catalyze more funding from them, then the MSMEs will be able to have more access to funding.
The reforms that have been done has freed up a lot of naira for government to invest at the federal level, state and local government level, to invest in infrastructure that people need and that businesses need.
Formalization has been a challenge for many small businesses, with costs, bureaucracy and lack of awareness keeping many entrepreneurs in the informal sector. This often denies them access to finance, markets and government support.
From company registration and audit.
Now, the new CAC Smedan scheme aims to remove these barriers by covering the cost of registration and linking the beneficiaries directly to Smedan's MSME database.
So this MOU provides the framework for CAC and Smedan to offer free business name registration to 250,000 micro and small enterprises across Nigeria. Through this collaboration, CAC will waive all statutory fees and ensure a seamless registration process that enables beneficiaries to receive their certificates without delay.
We have people that do strong shoes, strong bags, nice dresses, good dresses, but the finishings are not up to international standard. We are taking some people to Italy very soon. We have discussed with Italian embassy. They've linked up with the international training centers of international repute to train our trainer.
In Abuja, Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
All right, to bring in our guests now to pick up with the conversation. New hope for MSMEs. Mr. Temitola Adekunle Johnson. He's a special advisor to the President on job creation and MSMEs. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we commend the federal government. We're seeing the reforms taken, initiatives to boost, revenue generation, especially with what the MSMEs are doing. But I'd like to get your perspectives, how the federal government intends to take these reforms or initiatives a step further.
Okay. You see, the first, from 2023, 2024, was to sort of look at the entire SME ecosystem, ecospace, to sort of understand what their immediate needs are and how to ensure that they get those needs. Now we're the care has been increased. We're now we've identified those needs, especially the ones that are very cogent, that are very urgent for them. So we're now going to begin to take those needs one at a time and ensure that they are well implemented. And one of the first things we're going to do is the risking fund, which we had spoken about on a number of occasions from the presidency. What all this will do for small businesses is that in most of their states it will guarantee them loans at competitive rates. It's not going to be 28% or 25.5%. It's going to guarantee them loans at competitive rates because looking at it, SMEs are based in the different states. And so what we've done is that we from the presidency have brought in our commercial partners, the banks, and in discussion with the different state governors and the state governments, where the state government will bring in a certain amount of fund, minimum $1 billion to $2 billion. Minimum is $1 billion. If you decide to bring it up to 5 billion, the private sector will match whatever it is that the state brings. And in that case, in every state, you are going to ensure that the funds are disbursed to SMEs at a much lower rate. No SME can really compete at 28.5% or 25.5% interest rates. So what that does is that it gives some sort of assurance to the commercial banks that are disbursing. And it also says that if Mr. A collects a facility and is not able to pay back as at when due, and if Mr. A is from XYZ state, you can take from my state whatever that person has collected to augment whatever it is that you're meant to disburse. So it's more like an insurance fund by the states. Okay. As a matter of fact, a few states have even begun this. Lagos State kickstarted this with a matching 10 billion naira facility with the Bank of Industry, and I think is Sterling Bank in this case. And as we speak, I know a number of governors are already in discussions with some of our commercial bank partners.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, I thought you weren't done with your thoughts. There's also the aspect of intervention funds from the government, which is actually helping to boost competitiveness and structural challenges. But there are also challenges from the aspect of these entrepreneurs, access to these funds, and also eligibility. That's the word I'm looking for, to access this fund. What has been done, to address some of these bottlenecks? We saw the partnership between SMIDEN and CAC to clear the hurdles in terms of registration, but the aspect of getting funds to thrive, it's also a question.
Okay, so when it comes to funds from the federal government to any of the agencies, the issue of access is usually not as much, because it is a federal government fund given to, say, Bank of Industry, Nexim, or any of those agencies to manage on behalf of the federal government. So the sort of criteria or the conditions SMEs would need to meet for such funds are usually not as stringent, basically. So in most cases, you hardly have issues with that, and that brings me to the scheme that we're projecting to sort of is a scheme that will touch three different spheres within the MSME ecosystem. It's a scheme that will train SMEs, because we have realized that you cannot train businesses for 3 months and expect them to go out and fly. So, honestly, so we are looking, we are working or we've worked on a scheme that will train an SME or SMEs who are interested in 20 different clusters, SME clusters, for a minimum of 1 year. So that 1 year, the SMEs get funds for coming into training 3 times a week. Now the catch here is that all the people training those SME, let's say you have a big fashion company or a big fashion enterprise, and we have about 20 SMEs who want to train in fashion, who generally say they want to train in fashion. So that big fashion cluster also gets paid for training each SME. So it's a win-win situation for the SME, for the government, and those that are training them as well.
Then it expands the value chain.
Oh, it expands the entire value chain. And at the end of the training, because we expect that it is not everybody that goes in for this training that will be serious. So at the end of the training, once the states and those trainers identify those that are serious, the federal government will go a step further by giving them funds to start their own businesses. First things first, we are going to open their own shops for them, pay for a 1 year rent for them, 1 full year rent for them, and we'll attach 2 people to them that the government will be paying for 1 full year, and we'll give them working capital. So it means that the government trains you 1 year, support you in another 1 year, held you for 2 years, and we believe that if you're a serious-minded person within that business, then within 2 years you should have found your feet.
Indeed, and you would have been able to build a strong structure.
Yeah.
But one question beckons, I'm sure, if a young entrepreneur is watching and thinking, how do I get access to this scheme? How do I benefit from it? We'll pick up with that, Mr. Johnson, after the break. Do stay tuned.
My mama no lie, yo. Food waste with na money kill and plus everything combined, oh. Everything combined, oh. Ogbonge just the arrive, oh. She tell me say na Devon King, so yeah, all she dey use fry, oh. Yeah. Now why the jollof it dey sweet like this? The chicken it dey crisp like this. Fry the plantain.
Introducing the new Devon King's soya vegetable oil, available in stores near you.
Imagine lovely meals you can cook with these ingredients. You spend heavily, but no guarantee of a tasty meal. Not making a right choice of seasoning cube can ruin your meal, money, and confidence. For a tasty meal, do not compromise. Choose Gold.
Use Terra Gold for the rich, consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. 1 cube, endless possibilities.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care. With 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. Helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care. For your shade of beautiful.
The world needs moms. With a splash of golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Change no thanks into yes please. Resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty family meals is all that matters. Where there are moms, there is love. Golden Terra oil, pour pure love.
In this fast-paced world, where the unpredictable happens, you need to protect your world. You need better protection for your assets. Linkage Assurance PLC is now bigger, bolder, and better to offer tailor-made insurance products with prompt claim settlements and enhanced customer satisfaction. No matter the insurance policy, come over to Linkage Assurance PLC today and be rest assured we've got your world fully protected. Visit www.linkageassuranceplc.com. Linkage Assurance PLC. Protection that counts.
My morning ritual starts here, surrounded by life-made furniture. From my wardrobe to my bed, life-made furniture's whole house customization designs every piece to perfection. I love that in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja, Ibadan, and Kano, there's life-made furniture.
For a whole house customization and furniture projects, call 081-2000-6000 or visit elifemade.com. LifeMade, your life made forever.
TerraQ, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
My people, toilets have stains which bleach cannot clean effectively. But Harpic is thicker and sticks better, which gives 10x better cleaning versus bleach and kills germs.
Oh, wow.
You can now see that Harpic is better than bleach.
Good, tasty food is worth living for. Worried about your oil every time you enjoy your favorite meal? Introducing Smart Balance. Smart Balance rice bran oil is rich in gamma-oryzanol. Several studies suggest that gamma-oryzanol may contribute to the reduction of bad cholesterol. Golden Terra Smart Balance oil. Good food, no worries.
Thank you for staying with us and still talking about empowering enterprises with investment and training which is required to boost business operations. Experts and industry players say the initiative is expected to cause an upward trend in economic growth. Let's hear from Amaka Owo.
Micro, small and medium enterprises are considered as the engine room of the economy, with figures from the National Bureau of Statistics which indicates that in 2024, SMEs are set to contribute between 48 to 50% to the nation's GDP and 84% to the employment base of the nation.
For MSMEs, we employ people, and the more you employ people to work, the more their purchasing power is strengthened, the more they are also able to consume. So everything about the economy is a circular flow.
Experts believe that the future of the MSMEs are shaped by the ability of the government to manage inflation and exchange rates, which in recent time have reflected on the economy. Interventions to strengthen the financial base of these businesses by the government, experts make recommendations on the importance of reduction of imported materials used in production to reduce capital flight and boost local content.
In the last 1 year, we know that it's been a bit tough, but I think it's gradually also as Naira begins to gain a bit more strength. I think in the days ahead, we would see a bit more strength, a bit more upward shoots in the quality, in the lifestyle quality of MSM.
The biggest problem is the quality of the training these entrepreneurs receive. And so if the training is not improved, we're not likely to see the desired outcomes, okay? The second thing that I think that most of the funds should be deployed to is plugging the gaps in the value chain of different industries. We tend to import certain types of wood to be able to make good quality furniture.
The MSMEs are at the receiving end to reap the benefits for a buoyant economy. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
All right, Mr. Johnson, from that report, based on what you were telling us before we took that break, the initiative, which is a clear demonstration of government's commitment to support these MSMEs, will require a lot, especially what one of the respondents said there, navigating the value chain of the diverse sectors. But again, speaking on behalf of a young entrepreneur, how do they key into this initiative? Because a lot of them are still hanging in the balance.
Okay, fantastic. May I quickly touch on one or two things before we go into how they key into it? So I'll hold that question. Okay. Now, there are several. You see, information is very, very key, and I'll encourage Nigerian SMEs to hit up government agencies or parastatals responsible for day-to-day affairs of small businesses. For instance, go to SMEDAN's website and find out what they are doing. Go to CAC, find out how they are helping MSMEs. The Bank of Industry just launched a scheme targeted at women. It's called Guaranteed Loan Scheme. The Guaranteed Loan Scheme for women is called GLOW. You know, where a single female enterprise can collect up to 10 million naira for 5 years. The tenure is 5 years, and you know what the deal is here? The breaking news here is that it is at 7%. 7%. You can't beat that right now in the country. Now, if you're already doing such a business and you need to expand, you can collect up to 50 million naira for a lady. Okay. A woman-owned business or a business that is over 70% female-owned, you can collect 50 million to expand your business at 7%, 5 years tenure. Nothing beats that. Somebody was saying on my way here that SMEDAN and CAC's 250,000 free registration for small businesses is not possible. And I said to the person that it's possible because there's precedence. This was done sometime in 2022, 2021 during the COVID, when we had the COVID era. We did the same thing, 250,000. So both SMEDAN and CAC already have a blueprint and are sure of what they want to do. Yeah. Now, with regards to access. Now, when you talk about access, who are the target audience for this, the target market, for this scheme? We're looking at makeup artists. We're looking at petty traders. We're looking at hairdressers. We're looking at, if you want to start suya business. We're looking at people that do relatable businesses. We're looking at carpentry. You see, I've said this before. There's an example I wanted to give you. So the sort of numbers these people make. Now I'll jump to that after telling you how people are going to access this funding, this scheme. It's going to be via a portal. We believe in using so that we're able to sort of watch the metrics and able to give editorial reports on how people listed. So it's going to be via portal. Everybody will be on their marks, and the race will start at the same time for everyone, basically. So we'll set certain conditions that are going to be easily met by those small businesses, you know, for them to ensure that they meet whatever conditions we meet, and they are whitelisted. Once you are whitelisted, we print the names of those that are whitelisted, and then we move on from there.
Okay, fantastic. And you just gave me an idea. I may be considering suya business, so I can be part of this. Just kidding. But what about the expansion of the digital microloan? I know it's meant to promote financial inclusion, but those in the rural areas, how are they being, included into the scheme? Very briefly.
So if you notice that this government has been very big on inclusion, and it's to ensure that wherever you are in this country and you're a small business owner, you need a facility. So access to go and look for that facility should not be a problem. We should get into the rural area, and if you notice that both ministers, the Minister of Trade and Investment and the other minister, the Minister for Industry, have also been keen on this. Even the Minister for Digital Economy, Mr. Bosun Tijani, we have been very, very keen on it, and that's one of the reasons why the President even increased the single obligor for SMEs for loans from 1 million naira to 5 million naira.
Okay.
And we've been going around the entire country to ensure that everyone has a with digital app and mobile partners to ensure that everyone that wants this loan, that is qualified to have this loan, can access it.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Temitola Adekunle Johnson. Of course, I know there's a lot to talk about, but we'll leave the conversation there and more as they affect these MSMEs. Thank you for coming on Weekend File.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. So let's take a break so you think of a business you can come up with.
Tasty food worth living for. Worried about your oil every time you enjoy your favorite meal? Introducing Smart Balance. Smart Balance rice bran oil is rich in gamma oryzanol. Several studies suggest that gamma oryzanol may contribute to the reduction of bad cholesterol. Golden Terra Smart Balance oil. Good food, no worries.
What food do you need?
Guys, food is ready.
To impress.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with particularly high investment by the licensing companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Advancing national development and growth in Nigeria as experts deliberate on the prospects of achieving $1 trillion economy by 2030. Tuesday live on October 14, 2025 for in-depth analysis on the new development plans and how it will be achieved. NTA Tuesday live every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Tuesday live, educative and incisive as ever.
Don't miss it.
Thank you for staying tuned. Ayodeji Makinde is set for sports business. Ayodeji.
Okay. Well, thanks so much, Ruth. It's always interesting to be here, but a bit of a disturbing story, but not that bad, because the Super Eagles of Nigeria are expected to arrive in Uyo at a later time after their aircraft was forced to make an emergency landing in Luanda, Angola, due to a crack on the windshield which disrupted the journey. The team, which secured a 2-1 victory over Lesotho at the Peter Mokaba Stadium on Friday evening, had to step over to refuel in Angola. But turn from landing 35 minutes into its final destination to Uyo. Nigeria are third in Group C with 14 points, 3 behind leaders Benin Republic on 17 points, and 1 adrift of second place South Africa on 15 points. Also on match day 10, Bafana of South Africa welcome Amavubi of Rwanda at the Bombela Stadium. And also Nigeria will play Benin Republic at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. Now let's talk about some of the sports. Hockey. Nigeria's opening puck drop ended in a 2-1 victory over arch-rivals Ghana at the Africa Cup of Nations Hockey Championship in Egypt, while the women's team lost by a lone goal to Kenya. Both teams are back in action on Sunday with Egypt in the men's category and Ghana in the women's matchup. Elsewhere, Rita Ferdinand lifted 153 kilograms to win gold in the women's up to 79 kg category at the World Para Powerlifting Championship in Cairo. Earlier in the day, Esther Wog won silver in the 50 kilogram category, while Rukayat Okoyemi Ajiboye claimed bronze in the same class as she was edged out in the push for gold medal by Venezuela's Clara Fuentes. This is the first time Africa is hosting the World Para Powerlifting Championship. The event, which commenced on the 9th, ends on the 18th of October in Egypt. Now, over 500 runners competed on the streets of Abuja for the City Marathon in commemoration of the International Day of the Girl Child and raise awareness about girl-child education, fitness, and healthy living. In the 21-kilometer race, Adebayo in the men's category with a time of 1 hour 11 seconds. Wachiro Nanya Esther topped the women's category, finishing in 1 hour 31 minutes and 11 seconds. In the 10-kilometer event, Anne Schofauer and Mosi Meza Selkok emerged winners in the men's and women's division.
I don't run so often, but I ran at the youth. I was running in the club. So I think I still have this energy.
I don't know, running is very freeing. So this is my inspiration, I guess, to just free my mind. And yeah,
I feel good. I'm grateful to God for the strength to win.
It's not easy. I just want to give glory to Almighty God for the power and endurance that He gave me. I did not expect it.
Of course, we never expected that the Super Eagles would make an emergency landing in Angola, but surely we expect them to be back in Uyo surely before midday so that they can commence preparation for their final showdown against Benin Republic, where we believe the Super Eagles will qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup in USA, Canada, and Mexico. That's your sports.
Okay.
Yeah, Ruth.
I like the hope. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The management and entire staff of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, mourn the passing of Christopher Kolade, an icon of the Nigerian broadcasting industry, a consummate diplomat and an exemplary leader. Statement by the Director General of NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembas, recalls Kolade's contributions to the growth and development of broadcasting in Nigeria. As one of the foremost pioneers and administrators of the medium, he championed professionalism, integrity, and excellence values that continues to inspire the NTA and generations of broadcasters across the nation. Beyond broadcasting, Mr. Kolade was a statesman of rare distinction, whose service in diplomacy, academia, and corporate governance reflected his unwavering commitment to national development and ethical leadership. On behalf of the management and entire staff of the Nigerian Television Authority, we extend our heartfelt condolences to his family, friends, and all who were privileged to know and work with him. We pray that the Almighty God grants his soul eternal rest and comfort those he has left behind. Mr. Christopher Kolade's legacy will forever remain a guiding light in the story of Nigerian broadcasting and public service. So, just before we go, just look across the plains of Nigeria this time of the year, and you'll see it in action for the farmer. Well, tomorrow 12th, that is, we'll be celebrating an incredible set of people. Behind that bounty, it is the National Farmers' Day. It's a day to give a much-deserved salute to the men, women, and families who are the backbone of our nation and the stewards of our land. Set perfectly in the midst of harvest season. Now, this is our chance to recognize the relentless hard work that puts food on our tables and keeps the country running. A farmer is a scientist in the field. Did you know that? It's a life of endless hard work driven by a deep connection to the earth and an unwavering commitment to feeding the world. Farmers, as you celebrate them tomorrow, remember that your neighbor, give your neighbor a tuber of yam. Now I'm talking to the farmers, or a bag of cassava. And well, from all of us here in NTA, we wish the Nigerian farmer a productive harvest. And for me, I always call myself a farmer, but tomorrow I want to be a consumer, so you can pass that tuber of yam to me. Good night. It's Weekend File for today. I'm Ruth Aguele.
It becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
When a truck spills its load, when a fuel-laden tanker falls, after a road accident involving valuable cargo, let's not see this as time to steal or loot. Stealing or looting in the face of disaster isn't just illegal. It is a betrayal of our shared humanity. Let's come together in times of disaster, not to take, but to give. Our focus should be on helping the victims and reporting the incident. Choose empathy. Be the light in darkness.